What's going on, everybody? Togavor, aka Chris here, and I'm gonna bringing you guys my first NPL video. This video will just be a summary of the draft, a little bit as a whole, but mostly focused on my team, as you can see it right there. And then I'll take a look at my schedule, break down each match a little bit for you guys, and then yeah, that's basically the video. So as you can see, Portland Timbers logo is right there. I made it myself. I'm very proud of it. I can't Photoshop shit. Basically, the way the draft worked is it worked basically the same way as the GBA did for this last season. So the returning teams, the 7 returning teams, basically 7. There's an exception. Atlanta. Trev, he decided to redraft his team because he replaced the old coach, and the old coach had a really awful team. And so he decided to draft with the expansion teams. Basically, if I refer to the expansion teams for draft's sake, I'm referring to him as well, so you don't get confused. So they drafted first, but then there was a pool from the Atlanta Braviaries that was put in for the expansion teams separately. So basically that's how it went. There was a round-robin tournament, just standard OU, to determine the draft order. I ended up actually winning that tournament, but I deferred to go second in the draft, as I wished to get slightly earlier picks in the even rounds. As you can see, I had the 9th pick there. But yeah, that's basically where I decided to choose. Yeah, so let's go into my team over here. So, this is my team. First pick, I picked Togekiss. Togavor, it's in my name. That's my second favorite Pokemon. Arcanine being my first, but I'm fairly certain Arcanine was taken, and it wouldn't have been my first pick anyway. Togekiss can be bulky on both sides, can be offensive, very diverse in the sets you can run. You can Baton Pass shenanigans, Defog, which is huge, passing on T-Waves, Nasty Plot, Flinch shit. Fun Mon, I really like it. I'm not so sure it was first picked material looking back on it, but hindsight 2020, it's what I picked, and I'm not like crying about that pick. Second, I picked Celebi. I am so surprised this fell to me. As you saw earlier, I had like the 9th overall pick for my second pick, and this Celebi, by the way, was in that pool of reserve mods for the expansion draft, which would explain why it fell. The expansion draft wasn't picked up by one of the other teams. But anyway, I managed to grab Celebi. It's like Mew, except not quite as good, but with a secondary typing, and some certain, which basically is the only reason to have it over Mew at all. Then, it can also just run a variety of sets, like Togekiss, can be bulky on both sides, and can just do a lot of things that I am really looking forward to be able to see it do, which I think is just fantastic for the format. I'm not going to give those away in this video, as the other teams can and most likely will watch this. Next, for my third overall pick, or my third pick, I said overall, I grabbed Milotic. As you can see, it kind of fits the bill with these 3 picks, which are all here for 3 years in Portland, as being things that can be bulky on both sides, but can also have some kind of offensive prowess backing them, which makes, in my opinion, really great walls in the NPL, because if you have something like Alomomola, it can't hit back, it's just setup fodder, and your opponents know that, so they'll bring something set up on it. But these things provide less opportunities to be set up upon because of their fantastic to manageable or to workable offensive stats throughout my wall core. So then going into my 4 2-year picks, I picked these 2 in a pair. They were close together. They might not have even been that close together. I don't know. But I picked these 2 together in my mind in Hydreigon and Nidoking. Both very powerful, special attackers. Nidoking is more easily mixed than Hydreigon, but they can both be mixed. Very powerful wall breakers. Can break down my opponent's core and lead to a sweep by the plethora of options, as you see down below. I was really waiting to work that word in. I love the word plethora. But that's completely pointless to the rest of this. So yeah, I picked Hydreigon and Nidoking. Their typings are fairly separate in the moves they run, so I think they complement each other very well. They can both run Life Orb, Scarf sets is probably what you'll see most commonly. You might see something like Expert Belt on Hydreigon trying to bluff a choice item. But essentially that's the thought going into those picks. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I believe to be your Portland Timbers MVP for this season. I think that this will be able to do a ton of work on opposing teams. I think it, well, for the first part of the season, it might be underprepared for, but after that, I think it'll do quite well. As you guys know, Superior got Contrary, Leaf Storm, Shebang, goes together, Peanut Butter and Jelly. Yeah, Superior, I'm just hoping to tear the league up with this one. There was even some conversation about it being banned before the league started. Yeah, but that didn't happen, and I got it, and I couldn't be happier managing to take this pick. Then my last 2-year contract, I snagged Honchkrow, which I believe to be a very underrated threat. It just sucker punches things. Priority is huge in this league. Priority and speed. As you can see, up to this point, I didn't have a lot of fast things. Superior was my fastest thing going to this point, which is fantastic at 113. But I didn't have any form of reliable priority, so I picked up Honchkrow. It's also flying type, flying being a fantastic offensive typing. I think it'll be able to put in some solid work for our team this year. Next, this was a synergetic pick. Regirock is not the world's greatest mon, but if you look at my team, and you look at what wants to take a choice banded Bravebird or a choice specs for my team, nothing. That's the answer. Nothing. Regirock, extremely bulky on the physical side, fairly bulky on the special side, just takes massive hits and eats them up like all day. It hits back with respectable power, going in line with my other walls, not setup fodder, can explode, can set up rocks, which, I mean, Nidoking and Celebi can both set up rocks, but they're not necessarily streamlined for that, as in general they have better things to do. So I think Regirock will probably be my main rock setter in most games, but who knows, it just depends on team matchup, whatnot. So then, my 10th pick, I originally had Machamp, and I'll just talk about it as I do Machamp and then go back to Jolteon after I clear my Mega pick. So, I picked Machamp thinking strong fighting type, bulky, just good, amazing coverage, right? That was my thought. It was pretty simple. Machamp, strong mon, spams, dynamic punch without missing, can have guts. I didn't really see a downside in it. Yeah, we'll go into that later. And then, my last pick, this is kind of a wild card pick. I think that in certain matchups, this Drapion could just come in huge against certain teams. It can double dance, it can stall break, it can set up toxic spikes, it's bulky, it's fast, it can hit hard. I love Drapion, as you can probably tell, which is the reason I picked it, and it's part of my belief of leagues like this, which I have no experience yet. I could get 6-0'd the first week, and all of this could go to hell, and you could be like, wow, Chris, you're an idiot. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? And that's all fine and dandy for me, but I picked Drapion because I think it's a hugely underrated threat. Slow down your speech. And I think it can really put in some work for my team this season, and goes in line with the threat of versatility and mix of offensive and defensive prowess that my team so far has been able to bring to the table. And so 12th, I kind of picked my first one-dimensional thing, in my opinion. Mega Gallade. It swords dances, and it smacks shit, and I like that. It's fast, base 165 attack, base 110 speed, 95 defense, 115 special defense, bulky, sets up on a lot of the metagame in the NPL. I'm talking, this is not standard OU. Extremely different from standard OU. I would not bring Regirock to an OU match, but in the NPL, it can put in work. Back to Mega Gallade. Fantastic, has priority Shadow Sneak, has insane coverage, knockoff, Leaf Blade, close combat, Psycho Cut, Ice Punch. You name it, it most likely has it. It even has enough special attack where I think it's probably viable to run a hidden power, though I hopefully won't need to do that for anything. Super happy with that. So, the way the Mega Draft worked is, if you go, let's take a gander at the Season 2 Mega Draft. I had the 7th pick, which is not bad, and I didn't know going in. I knew going in I wanted Mega Gallade for my team. I I didn't necessarily draft around having it, but I knew that if I could choose, that's the one I wanted. So I picked it when it fell to me. Then I went and I looked back at my team. And I had 2 fighting types. One was stronger, one was faster. They're about as bulky as each other. I mean, the only downside to Mega Gallade is, I mean, it has a secondary stab. The only downside is that it loses its ability to hold an item. But looking at that, I decided that I didn't really want Machamp on my team. It contributed to the overall lackluster of speed to my team, which was like base 100, base 113, base 10, slow as piss. And so I was like, I need to pick up something fast. I didn't even know if I wanted to trade it yet necessarily, but I was in a call with Trev, Atlanta Braviaries. His name's come a lot. Everyone's link will be in the description, by the way. Go check them all out. Fantastic guys. Go sub to their channels, watch their matches, leave likes. Yeah. So I traded Trev my Machamp for his Jolteon, which I am extremely happy with this. It gave me a second electric immunity, coupled with Nidoking, and as you can see, my core, I mean, Celebi can switch into electric types, but it can be Volt switched on. And Jolteon can complement this offensively and just bring a lot to my table for my team. You know, outstanding speed, solid offense, can run a variety of sets. Though its move pool isn't wide, it can run a variety of sets. It can run Life Orb, Scarf, Specs. I guess that's not that many sets, but it's fantastic. It's exactly what my team needed. Could not be happier. Could not be happier with a single trade. And I only have 2 more for the rest of the season, because that's how this works. We have a trade deadline, which I believe to be week 8 or 9. Week 9, I think. Week 8, maybe week 7? I don't really know. Sometime pretty far into the season, just over halfway. And I need to make I have 3 possible trades. There's no requirement that I make them, but that's the time in which I have to make them. Another reason why I decided to pick Drapion is because at week 9, I believe, or 10, whenever free agency begins, I can drop it and pick up a different mon that I think will benefit me for my last few matches and possibly ensure my place in the playoffs. Which is why I didn't see much harm in picking Drapion. And if it does fantastic, then it does fantastic, and I have no regrets. And if it doesn't do well, then I can drop it and pick up something that complements my team better. So I didn't see harm in drafting that. Now, going into looking at my schedule, you see first week, I have the Sacramento Sea Kings, and we can just flip over to their screen here. They have Garchomp, P-Train, Mamoswine, Rotom, Gengar, Landorus, Mandibuzz, Meloetta, Virizion, Porygon 2, Mega Diancie. I'm not gonna like break down everyone else's team. When I play them week 1, I'll just talk about like a couple things I'm scared of from each team. I think that'll pretty much wrap up this video. But yeah, so things I'm scared of. Main things: Gengar, Meloetta. I mean, they just get fantastic coverage. They're both fast, both powerful. Blah 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 blah. I'm so glad they can't carry 8 moves each, because my team would just like I'd probably if Pokemon is an 8-move game, I would have forfeited week 1. I would forfeit week 1. I don't know how to phrase that. My tenses are all over the place. Anyway, back to this. Week 2, I have the Chicago Sacred Fire, coached by StabX4. As you can see, his team is here. Gliscor, Latias, Talonflame, Gardevoir, Kingdra, Shaman, Chuckle, Blissey, Jirachi, Manaphy, Mega Heracross. To be honest with you, I'm very frightened of Mega Heracross. Yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to go into this for my first 3 matches, and then after that I'll just go down briefly my schedule, and then I think I'm going to make that a thing. Every 3 or 4 games, I'll put an update stating my position, going over my stats, going over my next few games. That'll be a thing. I just decided, spontaneous inspiration, but it's going to happen. Then my 3rd game is against the Staraptors. Where are they? I don't know how to read, as you can tell. Are they? Oh, Toronto Staraptors. There it is. Alright, so Toronto Staraptors. This is another expansion team. Very much looking forward to this. I predict them to be a very good team. In my personal opinion, this is my opinion, me and Jolt, the coach, from a community channel, the Token Minorities, or not community, group channel. That was the word I was looking for. Go check their channel out. Fantastic stuff. But, so yeah, I play him week 3. Huge match. It's actually, as you can see here, the ones highlighted in yellow or game of the weeks, which means they'll actually be uploaded Monday, and that's just to signify they have some sort of playoff importance. Usually they'll be interconference games, or if not, like Week 1's matchup, a game between two powerhouses, which will be the Colorado Avalanche and K2's Detroit Gale Wings. Huge match. Make sure you look for that on Monday. Gonna be super excited. Can't wait for myself. So as you can see, Gyarados, Holochit, Volcarona, Alakazam, Empoleon, Wobbuffet, Gligar, Azelf, Tornadus now, trade was made there. Entei, Vaporeon, Mega Venusaur. Honestly, with this team, I feel like I'm scared of Holochit. I wanted it for a reason. It's fantastic, it sets up SDs. I'm freakishly scared of this mod. But, besides that, and Alakazam too. But besides that, I'm honestly not worried about too much. He's going on about Wobbuffet doing amazing things. And to be honest, I don't see it. I'm not too worried about it. He's going to probably leave a comment telling me I'm an idiot and that he's going to 6-0 me with a Wobbuffet. And if I get 6-0'd by a Wobbuffet, I will upload that proudly, because that'd just be awesome. I'd love to see myself get 6-0'd by a Wobbuffet, to be honest with you. This video is just going all over the place. So yeah, Thin going down. I play really tough Week 4 matchup against the Colorado Avalanche, and a tough Week 5 against Zero and the Tampa Bay Rayquazas. The show says Rayquaza, but the show is just stupid. Don't watch the Pokemon show, it's bad. And the Colorado Avalanche, coached by last year's champion, Foghorn Channel. The Foghorn Channel. Fog. Yeah. I'm gonna start referring to him as the Foghorn Channel every time I talk to him. Anyway, Week 6, Green Bay Palkias. Also, fairly threatening and unpredictable team. Also, expansion team. Week 7, I cannot wait. I play Atlanta Braviaries, Trev. I'm gonna have a lot of fun breaking through his stall and tearing him apart. The Week 8, Phoenix Sunkern, big interdivision match versus Cheeseboy 628 is the coach. Playoff implications possibly there. Week 9, Detroit Gale Wings, Kyle. I'm gonna win against Kyle. That's like a given. It's 9. My last name is 9. How can I lose? It's not gonna happen. Detroit Panthers, coached by Ashley. Gonna be a good game. And then Week 11, I'm playing against Razor Wolf 24 and the Newark Metangs, who bring powerful threats, including Greninja and blank, because my head is going blank. But they have Greninja, and Greninja does a lot to every team in the league if it's run properly. It almost won MVP last year. Fun fact. And then these are my last 3 games. I don't really need to go over them. They're all the other teams in my division who I will be playing against. Which is huge for the playoffs, because the way the playoffs are going to work is it's going to be the top team in each division. It's going to be a 5-person playoff, which I still don't understand how that's going to work. Thank Kyle in the comment section below for making everything as confusing as possible as far as playoffs goes. And yeah, so it's the top team from each conference or from each division, and then the next 2 teams with the best record and differential. So at the most, I mean, technically 3 people could get in from a single division, but that's not going to happen. Probably it's going to be 2 people from one person from the other. So this is huge for that, because if you went out in your division, say I went 6-0 in my division. I'm not predicting myself to get 6-0 in my division, but say I went 6-0 in my division. That's 2 losses for everyone else. 6 wins for me. I could probably go something like 6-8, or not 6-8, but I could probably go like 7-7. But if I went 6-0 in my division, I'd have a solid chance of winning it because of that. It wouldn't be guaranteed or anything, but that's how important those end-of-season division matches are. But thank you guys for checking out this video. Togavor here. Stick around if you want to see more of this. Thanks for watching, and goodbye!